Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Daily Pause. And the topic today is actionable step to handling rejection. During this difficult time, how many of you feel that it's even harder to deal with rejections that you may have or you may encounter? Today, we have Longpi Pasura, um, who is going to guide us today in meditation and also answer some questions and also giving the wisdom talk about these actionable steps so that you can take action without fear of rejection. Now let's welcome Longpi Pasura together.
Good evening, folks. How you doing? So today, as we talking about rejection, I think is go very well with the concept of acceptance, because rejection and acceptance are two opposite sides of the scales. But before we going there, as human composed of body and mind, whatever we decided to do is the project of how we learn to adjust our own mind to be accepting ourselves first. And that's when people talking about concept of meditation practice, that what actually meditation is. As I always mention that meditation means mental development for the mind to reach the state where it stands still, peaceful, and focused. So it's actually allow our mind to come back and be with ourselves. We normally projecting our attention somewhere else all the time. And whenever it's attaching on anything, attaching with anything, it grows desire. Let's say that well, this is not a cool example, but it actually works. If I see a cute girl, my mind would go straight to that cute girl, attached with her, right? And it grow desire. I want her to be my girlfriend. So when I don't have her to be my girlfriend, I grow disappointment. I had a sentimental feeling about it. I feel disappointed. I feel hopeless. I feel even rejections. So especially when we projecting our mind and attached with anything around us, it grow the desire and want to have it, want to hold on to it. So that is what our mind really does. Meditation is actually reverse the whole process. It's about bringing the mind to be with ourselves, to be even aware of where we're going to be putting our mind towards or where our mind is going to be. Because when we are able to do that, we can choose what to put our attention on. Something that makes us feel happier, feel fulfilled, feel content, or something that makes us feel more depressed, disappointed, feel rejected. So that's actually the way we can projecting our mind. But meditation is a process that we need to develop that skill. Skill of what? It is about developing the skills to put attention where we want it to be. For example, when you get up in the morning, do you really notice how many thoughts you have in the day until you go to bed at night? You don't really remember much, right? Because it keep going on so on over and over on many things, and especially right now when a lot of you are in this self quarantine lockdown, you actually have more time to think. There's a saying goes in Thai that when we are with friends, be careful of our words. When we are with others, be careful of our own thoughts. Because when we are alone, we tend to think, crazily. Our imagination running wild. So end up is producing a lot of different things in our head, but we don't even realize what we are really thinking about. Any night that you can't fall asleep, you probably have 100 different kinds of thoughts that going around from your jobs to your kids to your partners to your relationship to your friends to every little thing, and even spend a few hours unable to fall asleep. But of those hours, you don't really have any tangible, practical answer or conclusion that coming up from those thoughts, right? It's just a bunch of hours that you have spent without producing anything, without producing any result. That's actually what's going on. Our mind tend to jumping around, something that make us feel really restless, or some people may call it even daydreaming, which is very different from setting a goal. That is why understanding thing first that our mind always doing such things. And when it's losing control, it's not easy to come back. And that's why meditation is not only is actually a training process to train our mind, to train the skill where we recognize our mind, our attention a lot easier. When we are able to recognize that attention, then we can move to the second stage whereby we can put that attention to where we want it to be. And whenever our mind focus on anything, it actually magnifies. For example, if we're projecting on what makes us feel more depressed, like the girls that I was talking about, well, it's not actually I'm with any girl. But in that example, if I'm projecting on her, it's like right now, if I'm attaching when my focus is on that girl, then I grow more sentimental feeling. If it's attaching or focusing on the fact that she ignored me, and I grow more sad or I grow more disappointed. But if I choose to shift it to focus on the task that I'm about to do right now, say I have a report to complete, then my focus will be right there. If I focus on projecting about tomorrow that I'm gonna go for charity, I feel the sense of joy. Or projecting on or focusing on my past experience of some memorable event in my life, it makes me feel blissful. So we can choose where to project our attention on, and it grows to the different kind of feelings. But to do that, first thing first is to train our mind, because normally, like I said, it's already become habit that our mind jumping from one thought to the next, and it doesn't stay still with anything for a long time. So that's why we tend to grow a little depression here, a little sentimental feeling there, a little disappointment here, a little anger over there, a little jealousy over there, and it keeps accumulating, and we don't even realize that we keep collecting these things, suppressing it deep down inside, and unable to release them out. So that is actually what's going on that happening to our mind. Relearn our train our mind and crafting the skills, then we can choose where to put our attention would be. Let me give you another example. What happens when you're scrolling on people Facebook pages or Instagram account? When you see those cool photos when people are taking from different places when they're on vacations or when they're buying new things, and things that make you feel really jealous. That's actually what happened, right? We look at these things and oh, I wish I could go there. Oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, and they keep going on and on and on, and we don't even realize we're accumulating this negative feeling inside our own mind. Because when we observing this, we go, okay, I feel that I'm jealous. I feel that I want to do this and I can't do it, and I can't afford that, and we started to make a judgmental feeling on ourselves. So if we choose to reflect on what I have, then it will change, it will transform what I see as well. So say I may not have this time to go on vacation, but have a lot of time to be with myself, and at home where I can choose to do something more productive. So these can be many other things too. But that depends on how we choose to projecting our mind. I know this sounds simple in concept, but in reality, it's not that easy. As our mind is like a little monkey, and the monkey doesn't like to be trained. The monkey loves to be free, to be naughty. And our mind is exactly like that naughty monkey. If we want to train the monkey, we don't make that monkey an enemy. We don't force it. If we force to put the monkey in the cage, whip, hitting the monkey is actually fighting back to go free. And the same thing happens in meditation when we're forcing it too much. The mind wants to go free. It doesn't want to stay there for very long. That's why we gotta have to make it friendlier. When we talk about different techniques of meditation, and I always make example with a banana, because instead of trying to force the monkey to be still, to listen, to obey, we try to be friendlier with monkey by feeding a monkey, give him a treat. So when we show up to the monkey with a banana and say, "Hey, want one?" The monkey will come to you instead of instead of you running after the monkey. the monkey will come to you. And when the monkey comes to you, then here, another banana, here, enjoying it. You can dip into different flavor. You can dip the banana with chocolate on it, with strawberry on it. But whatever it is, the whole idea is just to keep the monkey enjoyable so much that the monkey wants to stay with you instead of want to run around. And at a certain point, the monkey learns to be calmer, to be slower. And with this little trick, you can start to see the monkey transforming to be less naughty and be more still. And that's exactly as our mind. The goal of the meditation is to be able to train that monkey so it listens to us at all times until it learns to be calm on its own. Because when it's running naughtily, we can't control where it's going to be. If it's going to some deep dark place, it brings back a lot of negative feelings. But if it's running wide into this kind of fantasy that we got, it becomes daydreaming and suddenly even reality. So now, when it comes to the practice of meditation, then choose the banana that you like. There are reasons for meditation techniques to be so variety, and that is because we all have different mental characters. Your mind is unique. It's not like anybody else. Even you can't even understand them all because when you get up in the morning, you're one person. During the day, when you go to work, when you feed your friends, you see that how your mental characters also shifting throughout the day, and that's what so many meditation techniques, and all of them are designed to be compatible, to be helpful with different characters of the mind. We don't know them all. We are always having this changing all the time, and that's why the things that help you realize that what the best techniques at the particular moment is something that we call sabai feeling or feeling relaxed and comfort. The moment that you actually feel comfortable to be right there with whatever you do, whether you're doing this little mantra, mental mantra in your mind, or visualize an object, or simply observe your sensation, or observing your breath, all of these are different banana. Whether you dip it with chocolate or dip with strawberry, but if it feels easier, if you feel like something that you don't really find it's so hard or you have to make a lot of effort, that's the best banana for that particular moment. Stay and enjoy the banana. But if at some point it's like, when we eating the same banana all the time, we started to grow bored of the banana, then dip it to something else. You can put Nutella on it, you can put peanut butter on it, but all in all, it's just to change the flavor so that that banana seems to be tastier. So that's what meditation is like. Although it means whatever banana or the technique that you choose, the fundamental or the ground rules is all about if you stay sabai, if you really stay so comfortable, so content just to be right there, feeling so content that you don't need anything else more, but just right. That's what is going on. Okay? So before we go into the whole rejection thing, let us go into this part of the meditation first. And when it comes to meditation, first thing first, take things slow from adjusting our sitting posture. Before closing the eyes, taking some moment to adjusting our body, you can stretch your neck a bit, stretch your arms, stretch your shoulders, in order to make your body feel more comfortable. Then adjusting your body, adjusting both of your legs. If you're sitting on a chair, feeling that both of your feet lay flat on the floor, adjusting both of the hands, feeling them placed gently on your lap. Keep your back straight with your chin square and take a long, soft, and deep breath a few times. Feeling the air as it's going past your nostrils all the way down to the end of your breath. And exhale so slowly. Breathe deeply, feeling your entire body slowly stretching up, and exhale, allowing the entire body to rest, relax, and settle at your comfortable sitting posture. Let's breathe again. Take it so deeply and gently. And as you are breathing out, allowing both of the eyes to close gently, feeling relaxation around the eyes slowly spread throughout your face and the entire body. Adjust the sitting posture a little bit more, observing our body if there is any joint, any part that feeling blocked. Adjust until we can feel the flow of our blood circulation run smoothly from top to toe. Relaxation is the first step to meditation. It allows our thinking process to slow down, to wander less, and there will be a gap for the mind to be more conscious of the moment, of the present. So let us relax the muscle from the top of the head, relax down to the forehead, down to the eyes, nose, down to both of the cheeks. Gently move that relaxation to the back of the neck, feeling relaxation down to the neck, and slowly let it slide down to the shoulders. Let that flow of relaxation streaming down both of the arms towards your hand, and feeling tension ease flushed out through the fingertips. Observe how both of the arms are so relaxed. Let us move the attention to relax our chest and down to the abdomen, down to the legs, feet, all the way down to the tips of the toes. Relieve the entire body from any remaining tension. Let us bring our body back to its natural state, where there is no tension, everything feeling at ease and loosen up. When our body is comfortable, it feels empty and hollow inside, as if everything turned to be an empty space without any organs. And our body seems to be made of thin structure, light and hollow. Relax our face, every facial muscle, shoulder, hand. When the mind is wandering, gently bring it back here, back to be with this relaxation once again. Relaxation will be a home base for the mind, for our attention to revisit at any time. Whenever it wanders into thoughts, gently bring it back here where we are relieved, relaxed. And as our attention remain with our relaxation, let the mind relieve itself from any frustration, irritation, any worries or concerns, whatever that we may have, put it down there, suppress it. Let us relieve our mind from them all, feeling as if we open the lid and upturn the bowl, drain everything out from our mind. Let it have the real taste of freedom, freedom from all negativity, free from all worry. Whatever we are worried about for the moment, let us put them down for a while. Whatever is happening is the matter of external factors. Let them be. We can't control everything, but at least for now, this peace and comfort is within our ability to reach simply as relieving our mind, unburden it all until our own mind feeling so light and spacious, feeling weightless, and that's when the mind feels so free. Even though we may have freed our mind for the moment, whenever there is any thought or negative feeling appear, we return to free them out again until finally what remains with us is this pure taste of peace and sweetness of freedom. So let it all out, let it all go. Imagine that we are now sitting alone in our comfort space. Imagine that encircle space around our being. It can be as large as the whole plane all the way to the horizon. When we are in the middle of this space, there are no intrusions, no disturbances, just ourselves with our mind so free here in this large open space. No boundary, no border, just this vast open space. Imagine that we are observing this surrounding space, our comfort space, where our mind can revisit at any time. Here we are in the middle of that space at our ground. As our body and mind are becoming so comfortable, let us place our attention so gently upon the home base, The space within our abdomen, I feel so tender. Place our attention in the middle of our abdomen, our center space. In there, inner peace is waiting. Welcome the return of the mind with embrace and open arms. Here within ourselves, it feels warm, comfortable, that everything fits so perfectly right there within. Let our mind, our attention be with that comfort space, whatever, wherever, however, anything will be, let them be. For the moment, here we are in the eye of this comfort space. Keep our mind with that center space. Let it rest there so gently, so comfortably. We can help the mind to be still by picture that there is a warm bright sun appearing in there, or feeling that our mind is like a bright sun radiating within the center space, feeling the sunshine so bright. Let the light radiating all around be in the warmth of our inner sunlight here at this large open space. When our mind stands still within, it is moving closer to our true self deep inside. The more that it goes, the closer we are with ourselves. When we find that true self within, we will realize that is where we belong. Right there is more than enough. We no longer need anything. Let us return to reconnect with ourselves by letting that sun within shining so bright. The light is so warm. Be in the sun. Let the sun inside shed the light so bright. When it stands still within, the mind will explore deeper, closer to our true self. And in there, we no longer feel insecure. As our mind standing still, what emerges from the center It is pure peace energy, and it can grow more and more. That it slowly expands worldwide. Let us expand that pure energy arising from our center space. Let it goes around the globe, above and beyond. Let the light shine, flush away all the pain, all the suffering. That pure peace energy, full of our good intention, joy, sympathy, compassion, wherever it goes, may all people be in the same state of peace, without sickness or sadness. Now that our peace energy overflow, reaching out, we let it surpass everywhere to all people and places, so bright and warm. Now that our mind be in the state of peace, slowly bring our attention back to be with our sensation, feeling our face, hands, and the entire body, the sensation of ourselves, and let us breathe in and exhale. Breathe again so deeply and gently, and exhale. Let our attention be with our body. Gently stretch our neck, shoulders, arms, and hands, the entire body. Breathe a few more times, and when you are comfortable, slowly open your eyes and stretch a little bit more. And that concludes this part of the meditation in the second part of the daily parts. So I hope that you are able to make friends with your little monkey mind and give a little time to tame it. So we move to the third part of the daily pause, where we're gonna be talking about the concept of handling rejection. Before going to the actionable steps or tips that how we can handling rejection, where do we feel rejected by anything? If we understand the reason why we feeling the rejection, then it's easier for us to handling this concept of rejection. The first thing for this that we want to belong to something. Human is a social animal. So whenever we are alone, it feels vulnerable. We feel the sense of fear. When we don't know something, we want to feel secure. We want to feel safe. And that's why we want to be part of something, because that group, that peer feelings, giving us a sense of security. So whenever that happens, we feel that I want to be there because it feels safe. Even though we may not really want to be there, but we want to feel safe. We don't want to face a challenge or alone by ourselves. And that goes into attachment. I think a lot of you have been familiar with the concept of peer pressure, right? When you were kids, when you were teenagers, that you were doing something just to be part of the group that you want to belong to, even though you may not really like it. But to be alone, you just somehow feel weird, or feel insecure, or feel strange. And we're trying to do even something beyond our wish, our self, in order to just belong to that particular group of things. I have the same experience when I was young. When I was kid, I actually never had a friend. Honestly, I don't. I was so much enjoying to play alone with myself. I feel really weird though, but I don't really feel pressure of being anywhere, being with anybody. It's like throughout my elementary school, I enjoy playing all alone. But when it comes to secondary school, and it seems like everybody have to be in certain kind of group, and I want to belong to part of the group. Plus, I was bullied a little bit. So the best idea for me at that time is to join the bully. If I was bullied by someone, it's best to be the bully itself so that I won't be bullied anymore. So I end up doing these things that I don't even feel nice, but because I was part of the group and that I should do the same thing as they do, like doing all these smoking, skipping classes and stuff like that, all this peer pressure. All of this, I invest my effort just to belong to something that I don't even like it, because I fear that if I don't belong here, I don't know what else to be. But eventually, I grow tired of these behaviors, and I started to make a lot of reflection on myself that should I be someone else? Should I try so hard to be something that I don't feel comfortable with? And what should I be? So I end up coming to back then. I end up watching a movie. I don't know if you ever watched the movie called The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
There was a famous quote there. It's not personal, it's business. I like that a lot. For me, it helped me to differentiate two parts of my life, the part that is personal and the part that's business. When it comes to business, me this social gathering, this social event, this occasional task that I got is all pure business. I be professional. It comes to personal, I follow my own desire. I will wish, not desire, my own wish. Whatever I want, as long as it makes me feel content, happy, and doesn't hurt anybody or anyone, including myself, I will choose to do that. So I started to focus more on what I want to make myself happy rather than how I want to make others happy just simply to belong to them. And for that, it has become my philosophy of living my life. And it makes me feel a lot happier. In that time, I get the chance to explore myself more and more deep inside that what is my passion, what is my capability, and how can I grow from those parts as well. So that's what I see as a benefit of it. But it takes a lot of process of trying to be belongs, trying to feel included, try to be inclusive. There's a lot of stigma in the modern society for a person to be stereotyped. For example, when you see someone as introvert, like, oh, this person, you're not so outgoing, you're not so expressive, you're wrong. And it seems like a person who seems to be more fun, more extrovert is highly acceptable. Like this is cool to be like that. But reality is that we have different personalities. Just because you are introvert doesn't mean you are worse or less than someone who is extrovert. Because it's just simply different personality. But a lot of time we are not so sure about being who we are because there are stereotyping in the society that you should be like this or like that. As a result, we forget to be us. You forget to be you. And that's actually why we're trying to go into this group and try so hard to avoid rejection. We go attached to a sense of comfort in something that we don't be really happy to be from the beginning. So my point would be, how can we explore ourselves to be really who we are and really enjoy that part? So that's why I give you a little tips to take these steps because it's actually a little step at a time. Number one, be a sympathizer. Don't be a trader. Sympathizer is someone that feels sympathy towards others, feeling that you want to help others, you want to give to the others in order to see them happy. But trader is someone who do for something in return. You see, when you are trading something, it's about give and take, right? If I do this, if I give this to you, it's about you giving something back to me. So we usually love to be a trader. We think we are giving, we are sympathizer, but we actually always a trader. We are always waiting for something to return. Whenever we invest our actions and effort into anything, there's always a little catch, right? Something in return. So be a sympathizer. Whenever we choose to give, it's going to go back to concept. We can't give something we don't have. We only give what we got. So whatever we feel like giving, it makes us feel for fulfillment. And that sense of fulfillment allow ourselves to be less attached to groups or to people or to anything. Because we started to focus on what I have rather than what I am lacking. And this is actually the first step to avoid to handle rejections. Because when people feel rejection because they go attached into something and they feel lacking or missing all the time. The moment we started to feel content and fulfilled, we don't feel like anything is missing in our life. And therefore, it's easier for us to feel get to the sense of being by ourselves and no longer have the fear of rejection. So be a sympathizer, don't be a trader. Don't try to wait for something to return because expectation always brings disappointment. Rejections also come with this sense of attachment, which bring expectation. We want something to return all the time. So whenever we started to become more sympathy, giving, just because I want to see others happy, and that will make us feel exploring into what we got. Number two, which is related to the first one. Appreciate what we have. A lot of time, as I beginning to say that human society love to stereotyping people that success should look like this, success should look like that. Good person, cool guys, cool person should be like this. We are stereotyping. We see these things like, I want to be Iron Man, I want to be Captain America, I want to be Spider-Man. Nobody wants to be Ant-Man. But instead of appreciating what we got, we're trying to be these things, these group of people that we see as cool, as acceptable, as something to look up to. And we're trying so hard to be like that. But not everybody wants to be like Spider-Man or Iron Man. Even deep down inside, we might not want to be one. We might want to be something else. But instead of appreciating what we have, we're trying to go after things that we don't have. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have ambitions or goal to be something else more, but it has to start growing from the same tree. You see that when you are the tree that growing big, it has to start from the small plant, small sapling first. It doesn't mean that one day you're gonna want to be a big banyan tree and you're gonna be that big oak tree in one day. Because when we look at these things, we won't see that. We see that oak tree. We don't see the sapling of the oak tree that slowly grow. What we got is that sapling that we have right now that need to be neutralized, they need to put the fertilizer, need to have nutrition, need to give the time to grow. But it's concentrate on what we have to allow us to really grow on that process. And when the tree become big, a lot of things will come to that big tree on its own. When the little animals, squirrels, there are many things that love to come, birds come to the big tree because it's giving profit. See, sympathizer. It's giving, it's not taking from anybody. So that's why it's drawing everyone around. Whenever you see somebody going in there and have this kind of aura of people coming to them, why? Because you can feel that you're getting something from them, right? You feel with a sense of comfort, advice, kindness, compassion that radiate from that person. That is the radiation of a giver or sympathizer. It's not about I look at you as something in return. So appreciate what we have can be very, very helpful. There's another tips that can be helpful to you, right? There was a cost of direct sales, the sales that you have to make contacts. You see, most of the time people make sales by trying to make others buying your stuff. And it feels a lot of pressure because you would try too hard to sell it and people can read you off. There was a little trick though, and this find it very helpful. I never done really that. I do the sales thing, like direct sales thing myself, but it helped me helpful is that in different way because that trick would be instead of thinking you're trying to sell others something, really believe in your product. And when you explain this, you don't try to sell it, but you try to give something nice to others. And here, this is something that's good for you. I think this is very helpful for you. Think about giving it to the other instead of trying to sell it. You see, it's instead to transform the trader mind into the giver mind. And in a sense, because we believe in these things and believe that we are doing something nice for the others, we make more effort naturally as we are, rather than trying to do everything we can in order to take it back. So appreciate what we have, be a sympathizer are the first two steps. Number three, be courage to be ourselves. And as I said, we stereotyping a lot about how people should be like, how cool person should be like. Then sometimes we try to hide ourselves that this is who I am. So I have the same experience as I said before. I used to be a kid who loved to be alone, who loved to play by myself, who doesn't like to be in the noisy places. But I have to force myself to be out there for a long while. I was so afraid to be by myself in school. But as a part, I realized that doesn't really work out because eventually being me is the best. Being me is make me happier. So I started to step back to being myself more and more. And when I do that, I grow more confident. Courage and confidence come together. When I go confidence as who I am, then I am so proud to help others on my own terms. I'm easier to be a giver. And that makes me feel less worry about rejections and focus more on what I can do to make everything, including myself and everyone around me in a more positive way. So be courage to be yourself. And that's to focus on number four. It brings back something called self-dependence. We want, when we are empty, like when I want to be having a partner, giving advice to people that if you want to have somebody in your life, it's not because you are missing something, missing space, but because you're fulfilled and you want to giving to the others. Because if we have this missing space and want somebody else to fulfill, that we need to depend on others. For the rest of our lives, it's always this kind of sense of clinging, the never ending. But if we started to, everything starting from me, I am going to be standing on my own 2 feet, breathing off my own through my own nose, that would be the first start. And that's actually allow us to worry less about what people would think about me or rejecting me, but focus much more on how I can grow on myself. And that's will leading to the other steps too. The last one, number 5, focus on our own growth. I give you example of the little oak tree at the beginning, that it takes time for the oak tree to grow. When we look at the oak tree, our oak tree, focusing on how this tree can grow, how much fertilizer that we need, how much water, how much attention that we need to put on, rather than keep looking surrounding these different trees, birch, oak, they're around, and what they grow so big already. We can never keep up. So let's try to be something else. Eventually, that tree doesn't grow well because it takes too much focus on something else. So focus on our own growth, our own path. Everybody is unique in this world. They will grow in their own way. So when you started to focus a lot more on how that you can grow in each day, you're becoming more self-dependent, you're appreciating more what you got, and that's when you started to really grow on your own and easier to be a giver. And in that way, instead of you being someone to trying to belong with other groups, you're going to be that one that others want to be with you instead. You draw people to you rather than you need to chase after others. So when the tree is strong, it draws little animals too. So be that tree rather than trying to be the small animal that go to the other tree. So these are 5 tips that I can give to you today, and hope that it can be very helpful for handling this rejection. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yes. Thank you so much,ค่ะ. The meditation part was so good, and also like these tips are very useful. Now, if you have any question, I think we can do like probably one question. If anyone have any question at all, if you don't have, then then I will read okay. All right. Then actually, the question that I have is not it doesn't really relate it to this topic, but it's from your talk in the beginning. That makes me interested in when you talk about like daydreaming and
Mhm.
set goal. So can you share with us like what the difference like between daydreaming and setting goal?
The difference is that most of the time, daydreaming is something that comes spontaneously, coming from seeing others. Let's put it this way: when you see people in their life, like on their Facebook, oh, they go to this place, they go to that place, they're doing this, they're doing that, it feels so cool. I wish I would do that. This is daydreaming. It doesn't really come from your exploration and process. This is actually your passion. To make it more like your goal, your objective, your ambition is something that comes from your passion. That you really want to be that you go into this process of exploration already. That I want to be, say one day I have to go to travel around the world, and that is actually your goal. But it's not like, oh, this result looks good, but it ain't not because you're bored, you don't like even what you have right now. It's starting from having that passion first. Then that will be setting the goal, and that's different from daydreaming.
Mm.
Everybody wants to be a Spider-Man, but what is the reason for you to become a Spider-Man? That's the difference. Daydreaming is I wish I'd be a Spider-Man. But if I want to be a Spider-Man, because I see why I need to be one. That's how I grow passion into it. And that is actually setting goal.
Okay, yeah, very clear. Yeah, hope all of you also get the answer clearly. And uh, tomorrow we will have Long Pi Pisit with us. Also, very interesting topic too. Let's see what the topic is. I I forgot about the topics, but it's something about four tips that maybe the great entrepreneur all have in common. Maybe that, or maybe I just made that up. And then on Wednesday will be the rerun from different. It's surprise rerun from the program from our branches. We'll see what that's gonna be, and then we'll meet Lung Pi Pasara again on the upcoming Thursday. Very special topic too. How you can win over the anger, right? I think so. Yeah. Okay. And then now let's see. Yes. Like to say hi to everybody too. Yes. We have Wesker with us, and also he did very good summary for other audience as well. Thank you so much. And also thank you, Paul, for joining us today as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Long Pi, for teaching us tonight. And we'll see everybody again tomorrow. Just remember that your clarity begins with a still mind. So stay clear and bright amid uncertainty. See you in Daily Pod, 8:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.